Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies, and this is Ballot, from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry by Albert G. Mackey. Ballot. In the election of candidates, lodges have recourse to a ballot of white and black balls. Unanimity of choice in this case was originally required, one black ball only being enough to reject a candidate, because, as the old regulations says, the members of a particular lodge are the best judges of it, and because, if a turbulent member should be imposed on them, it might spoil their harmony or hinder the freedom of their communication, or even break up or disperse the lodge, which ought to be avoided by all true and faithful. Constitutions, 1738, page 155. But it was found inconvenient to insist upon unanimity in several cases, and therefore the Grand Masters have allowed the lodges to admit a member if not above 3 ballots are against him, though some lodges desire no such allowance. And this is still the rule under the English Constitution, Rule 190. In balloting for a candidate for initiation, every member is expected to vote. No one can be excused from sharing the responsibility of admission or rejection, except by the unanimous consent of the lodge, where a member has himself no personal or acquired knowledge of qualifications of the candidate. He is bound to give faith to the recommendation of his brethren of the reporting committee, who, he is to presume, would not make a favorable report on the petition of an unworthy applicant. The most correct usage in balloting for candidates is as follows. The Committee of Investigation having reported favorably, the Master of the Lodge directs the Senior Deacon to prepare the ballot box. The mode in which this is accomplished is as follows. The Senior Deacon takes the ballot box and, opening it, places all the white and black balls indiscriminately in one compartment, leaving the other entirely empty. He then proceeds with the box to the junior and senior wardens, who satisfy themselves by an inspection that no ball has been left in the compartment in which the votes are to be deposited. The box in this and the other instance to be referred to hereafter is presented to the inferior officer first and then to his superior, that the examination and decision of the former may be substituted and conferred by the higher authority of the latter. Let it indeed be remembered that in all such cases the usage of Masonic circumambulation is to be observed, and that, therefore, we must first pass the junior station before we can get to that of the senior warden. These officers having thus satisfied themselves that the box is in a proper condition for the reception of the ballots, it is then placed upon the altar by the senior deacon, who retires to his seat. The master then directs the secretary to call the roll, which is done by commencing with the worshipful master, and proceeding through all the officers down to the youngest member. As a matter of convenience, the secretary generally votes the last of these in the room, and then, if the taller is a member of the lodge, he is called in while the junior deacon talls for him, and the name of the applicant having been told him, he is directed to deposit his ballot, which he does and then retires. And the name of each officer and member is called, and he approaches the altar, and having made the proper Masonic salutation to the chair, he deposits his ballot and retires to his seat. The roll should be called slowly, so that at no time should there be more than one person present at the box, for the great object of the ballot being secrecy. No brother should be permitted so near the member voting as to distinguish the color of the ball he deposits. The box is placed on the altar, and the ballot is deposited with the solemnity of a Masonic salutation, that the voters may be duly impressed with the sacred and responsible nature of the duty they are called on to discharge. The system of voting thus described is, therefore, far better on this account than that sometimes adopted in lodges, on handing round the box for the members to deposit their ballots from their seats. The master, having inquired of the wardens if all have voted, then orders the senior deacon to take charge of the ballot box. That officer accordingly repairs to the altar, and taking possession of the box, carries it, as before, to the junior warden, who examines the ballot and reports, if all the balls are white, that the box is clear in the south, or if there are one or more black balls, that the box is foul in the south. The deacon then carries it to the senior warden and afterward to the master, who, of course, make the same report according to the circumstance, with the necessary verbal variations of west and east. If the box is clear, that is, if all the ballots are white, the master then announces that the applicant has been duly elected and the secretary makes a record of the fact. But if the box is foul, the master inspects the number of black balls. If he finds only one, he so states the fact to the lodge and orders the senior deacon again to prepare the ballot box. Here the same ceremonies are passed through that have already been described. The balls are removed into one compartment. The box is submitted to the inspection of the wardens. It is placed upon the altar. The roll is called. The members advance and deposit their votes. The box is scrutinized, and the result declared by the wardens and master. If again one black ball be found, or if two or more appeared on the first ballot, the master announces that the petition of the applicant has been rejected, and directs the usual record to be made by the secretary, and the notification to be given to the Grand Lodge. Balloting for membership or affiliation is subject to the same rules. In both cases, previous notice, 1 month before, must be given to the lodge. Due inquiry into the reputation and capacity of the candidate must be made, and the unanimous consent of all the members then present must be obtained. Nor can the unanimity be dispensed with in one case any more than it can be in the other. It is the inherent privilege of every lodge to judge of the qualifications of its own members, nor is this inherent privilege subject to a dispensation. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.